Hey guys, I'm going to get straight into it. There's a lot to get through in this intro because I don't want you sitting there for too long. This is an Ibanez DDL10 Delay 2. Picked it up on Gumtree, which is our version of Craigslist. I didn't climb up a tree and wrestle a koala for it or anything like that. It arrived, plugged it in, sounds amazing. It's a vintage pedal. They're becoming extremely valuable and you can win it. Before I tell you how that can happen, I just want to say there's much more tutorial stuff coming out, guys. I've got Punny from the Graveyard Bashers teaching 5 of his favourite psychobilly riffs that he's written for his band. So that's the mind of madness on how that stuff kind of works. He's the guy. The riffs are fantastic. It's really great fun. I'll be transcribing those, which will be available on my Patreon. Okay, and I've got some Chet Atkins stuff I'm working on. I'm working on Billy's Gone Psycho. I've got part 1 done, so expect that tutorial very soon. Heaps of great stuff, heaps of lessons, more theory stuff. If you're fans, you know what's going on. Now, speaking of the Patreon, to win this pedal, you just have to be a member of the Patreon. So I like to do giveaways from time to time. Patreon told me that it's kind of gambling. You know, it's like encouraging you guys to gamble. So don't join the Patreon to win this pedal. Join the Patreon. And if you happen to have joined before November and you remember, I might just pick your name out of a hat and you might win it. Okay? You're joining because you want to support this content. You want access to the PDFs and the bonus content. And this is just a potential perk, okay? There are currently 50 members, just over 50 members. So it's pretty, it's decent chances. Better than the lotto. It's probably also not quite as rewarding. But it is a great pedal. We're going to have a look and see how it works right now. I'm going to put it next to a Strymon El Capistan so you can hear what it does versus a tape delay. Does it work for Rockabilly Slapback? Yes, indeed it does. Check it out. All right, guys, so not so much a comparison in terms of, what's better. More like, hey, this is the Strymon El Capistan. Most of you guys know what this does. Let's have a listen to the DDL10 after listening to the El Capistan and see where it kind of sits. So, I'll show you the dry tone, which, by the way, I'm going to use a tune from my album, The Homemade Space Machine. Check that album out if you like this kind of stuff. I thought it made sense to use something from that album because it's what I would be sitting around mucking around with delay pedals. So, so that tune's called The Machine Is Alive, and you can look at that album on iTunes, Spotify, any of those things, it's out there. Here we go. So now the same thing with a little bit of delay. Yeah, the mix is quite high there. Let's see if we can do the same thing with the DDL10. I'll just bring up the delay level a little bit. Here we go. So there you go. I mean, look, on the surface, just switching between the two for the sort of things I like playing, it works fantastic, which makes it all that much harder to give this pedal away. And it also has its own way of doing it. Now, let's listen to the actual, the delays. What I'll do is I'll put the mix up, I'll put the time longer, you'll get a better idea of... Great, that's the tape delay thing. That kind of warm, fairly quick degradation and a little bit of character. I'll also just strum the chord. And you can hear how with a tape you'd have some inconsistencies in the sound that's being recorded and played back, so it will interact with your dry signal in an interesting way. If we go over to the delay, the digital delay, and I do the same thing, we'll put the level up and put the time. What I'll do, I'll just flick has a cool function. I mean, it doesn't have tap delay or anything, but it does have a cool function where you can choose between, you know, different length parameters. Probably make it long. Oh no, that's at the maximum. But the time is set very low. Let me bring it up. Okay. You can hear it blends into your dry signal much quicker because there's a lot less inconsistency to the tone. There may be less sort of wave inconsistency, but I think there's certainly a character to the repeats that's different to analog. It's different to the tape emulation. It's kind of got its own thing. It's almost like it's trying to be really clear, but it's kind of not, because maybe the technology wasn't quite up to scratch. I don't know. There's definitely something in my ears. I mean, if we put those repeats up, and there's definitely it sounds almost like a pitch drop as it sort of goes on, very, very faint. It does its own thing, and it's a really cool pedal, okay? So, yeah, I mean, this is also, if you're interested in what a DDL10 is and what it does, obviously this video is really useful for that. And if you happen to become a member of the Patreon, you'll be in the running to score this pedal. I'm going to be spewing when it goes. It's a great pedal. Now, just one last thing about digital delays, by the way. Scotty Moore actually, when he retired, in his kit bag, you would have found a Boss digital delay. So that's what he favoured. Even after years of playing and many, many pedals coming out on the market, he's stuck with his Boss digital delay. He was more than happy with it. And if you think about it, the whole point of tape delays and all those kinds of things was not to have all those different effects and whatnot. They were really there to just repeat that signal, to give that sort of echo. And digital delays do that really well. I quite like tape delay. A lot of guys like tape delay, but I also really like the digital delay. It's just a different thing. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm going to play you out with a little bit more of that tune. Check it out. Check out the Patreon. Check out other YouTube videos where I'm teaching stuff. There's Travis picking ones, and if you want to get more into this style, maybe you could learn my version of Freight Train or Folsom Prison or Blue Moon of Kentucky. That will all really help. Anyway, let's just play and shut up. I'm going to put the DDL on, seeing as it's the pedal of the day. Bring those repeats back. I have a real hard time finding my setting now. There we go.